Again, proud of my guys. They found a way to win. That's what you got to do against good competition. 2 games in a row, we've been more of a defensive-minded team. The score has been more like what I'm used to, and gave up 58 in our last road game, and then tonight against the Pac-12 team that's averaging 85, we gave up 63 points. So hopefully we're regaining that identity. They still shot a really good percentage against us. So our staff, myself, it starts with me. I got to figure out to scheme better because it's becoming a ritual. Every game we play, the other team's shooting a high percentage, and it's not because our guys aren't playing hard. We got to figure out a way to scheme them better and help them better. But happy with the win, and obviously take some questions.
The way you guys won tonight and won against UTEP and even at UNM earlier in the year, how much resiliency has this team developed early in the season?
Yeah, they're coming. They're coming. It's a unique group. I can't imagine trying to find many programs across the country that, played 11 guys 8 or more minutes. It just doesn't happen that often, and some people have to just, on certain nights, understand that it's not their night and they got to cheer for someone else. And from what I've seen, they've really done a good job of handling it, and I'm sure it's hard at times. But right now that's kind of what we're going with, and don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future, but that's the rotation we're doing. And we had Eli Chu out. I don't know if we've had a game all year long where everybody was healthy. I don't think we have, because Eastern New Mexico and Johnny came back. AJ didn't play, and then obviously Eli's been out the last 2 games. So that's a guy that's been playing heavy minutes as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out going forward.
Took 34 threes tonight, and you've said in the past you expect this team to take a lot of threes. I know at one point that you guys have missed 8 straight, but obviously 11-34 is a great percentage from 3, and it seems like that was something you guys may have found in the scout, just because Washington State plays a lot of 1-3-1. I know they kind of abandoned that a little bit, but that's something you guys thought you could have success tonight in?
Well, we certainly worked on a lot prior to the game of the 1-3-1, because they've been employing that for the at least 50 to 60% of every game they played, and we were great at it. We really did a good job of attacking it, and then they went away from it after we got the big lead in the first half, and they went back to man, which going into the game I thought if they play man we're going to have pretty good success, but we struggled. We really struggled, and then when we started missing shots, they just were daring us to shoot it. I mean, they were playing off us, and they really did a good job of kind of being in between the ball and help, and you were open, but it wasn't rhythm, and so sometimes there's internal pressure on yourself to shoot the ball because you're open, even though it's not a great shot. And we took a lot of those, I thought, the last 10 minutes of the first half. We took some shots that weren't great rhythm shots, and we certainly talked about that at halftime. But, I'm fine, with our number of threes. I mean, I still think we're going to shoot a better percentage than that, especially at home. I mean, I can't imagine what it was the last, 35 minutes of the game, because we started off pretty hot. It wasn't very good the last 30, 35 minutes.
You said after the St. Mary's game how you were disappointed because it was a missed opportunity against a name-recognized team to get a win. You get a win here against a team that people know really, really well. How happy are you that you guys are able to capitalize, even though I know there's some things you want to work on?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's a game that we've talked about a ton because of just how hard it is to get Power 5 teams to come to play in your building, and we had this opportunity, and like you said, we're extremely excited about the win, and especially the way we got it. Like Mark mentioned, I mean, we're building some toughness with this team. You can see it growing. Guys that watch us every game, and certainly I can see it. But it doesn't stop. We know what lies ahead, and it's going to get harder and harder the next few games. So we'll have our work cut out for us.
Robert Franks came into the game averaging 27 points a game. You held him 10 below his average tonight. How do you feel you guys did against him defensively tonight?
Pretty good. I thought going into the game, he's obviously a terrific player, but he doesn't blow you away with his athleticism. It's more his size, his touch, his ability to go both directions, score around the basket. He's got a feathery touch. So, CJ's not the most athletic person either, and so I thought he'd have a chance to guard him because of that, and he took on the challenge, and, he was terrific on both ends. I mean, he certainly did a good job against him in the first half, and then offensively, CJ, I thought, was the one reason that, we played as well as we did in the first half. I think he was 3 for 4 from 3. He made the big shot going into halftime. But, obviously Frank's getting in foul trouble, slowed him down a little bit. But overall, I thought we did a pretty good job. And then late, he almost willed their team to victory.
I think this is the first time this season you went with the same starting lineup 2 straight games. A guy I want to ask you about is Keon Jones. And I know in the past, we've talked about him. You like his bulldog mentality. I think it was his first 2 career starts. What about him? I'm assuming it's something in practice that you've liked to put him in the starting lineup.
Yeah, he was playing really hard. I thought he deserved to start. We talk about that a lot. I mean, if you want to play more, show us on the daily basis when no one's watching, and he did it. He really played hard and deserved to start. And I know he didn't play the type of minutes he wanted, but he just, to me, wasn't in rhythm tonight. We went with some other folks, but he does have a bulldog mentality, and obviously people that follow us know he can shoot the ball, and I think he'll shoot the ball, better going forward.
Through the first 7 games of the season, what's the identity of this team, and where would you like to see that identity grow in this, second quarter of the season?
Strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. As an assistant, we had a team at Wichita State. I think it was 2011. Went to the end. I think that was the year we won the NIT championship, and we played about 11 guys pretty regularly, and it was very odd. And I remember Coach Marshall being very frustrated all the time about who to play and et cetera. And now I share his pain, but it's strength in numbers, and certainly I think we're becoming more of a defensive-minded team. But the things we got to work on are, our field goal percentage defense. It's not up to par. It's high 40s, and we've got to figure out a way to scheme better. And like I said earlier, it starts with me, but that will solve a lot of problems. I'm used to teams shooting more, high 30s, low 40s, and lately it's been high 40s, and that's probably the number one thing we got to work better on. And then when people change defenses, we don't change with them. When teams play a constant dose of man, we're fine, but when they went back and forth, we've had a hard time adjusting early in the season.
You've yet to lose a rivalry game. How much pride do you take in that kind of going into Tuesday?
Yeah, it's obviously important to our community and our university, and I've adopted their mindset as well. And I make sure our guys, especially the first time around that are new to the program, understand what these games mean to these folks around here. They made sure to educate me right away how important it was to win those games, and so obviously it made sense for us to circle in with red ink. And certainly, we're off to a great start, but like every other game, we'll celebrate this for a couple hours, and then we'll turn around and try to get ready for Tuesday.
It seemed like for stretches during the game, the team seemed to kind of fall in love with the three-point shot, maybe a little bit too much. But I thought one guy that would come into the game and kind of get into the paint and create for others was Sean. Ended up with 7 assists tonight. Can you talk about his performance?
I didn't play him enough in the first half, and I told him I missed the rotation and it kept AJ out there too long, and then it was almost too late, but I said, screw it, I'm going to still put him in. It was like 1:11, and that's when we got that little run, And I told him, and he was like, don't worry about it. I almost apologized to him, and he just knows how to play. He had the big steal late. Obviously had a big 3 going down the stretch when we really needed it, and the play wasn't even for him. And he works really hard at his game, so I was happy for him to stick that 3. And then I thought, even though it didn't decide the game, but it was a really smart play when he got the ball late and he dribbled out the clock rather than lay the ball in and keep the clock moving. I thought that was really, really smart. So I thought him and C.J. Bobbitt, C.J. Bobbitt had probably his best game as an Aggie, and he shot the ball well. He defended. He had some rebounds. He had 7 rebounds, which he hadn't been rebounding very well. So I was proud of him as well.
Do you take pride in that it's a different guy every night? It seems like.
I don't know if I take pride in it. It's a luxury. It's nice to know that we don't have to rely on one person. Last year was an anomaly for me. I've never really had a guy quite like that we relied on so much to score the ball. And when he struggled, our team struggled. But this year is different, and I thought it was going to be different all year long. I really felt like we had more good players and more capable scorers. And I like the fact that it's hard to scout us because, who are you going to try to shut down? And, you got to kind of pick your poison. And then at the same time, we have to figure out, who's playing well and who's on and who's in a rhythm. But so far, so good.